Okay, so this is a follow-up to
You can stay live for people apologize.
that guy called me I don't know, it's one of those robocallers. The ways I've changed, right? This is my follow-up to
The ways
Monday.
I've changed. I react to robocallers less, but I still have small reactions.
That is true. It's just like this debate that go on in my mind of like, do I just get a new phone number? Because I think I got on enough of those lists and they just get me, especially at the worst times. It's okay. So, what I want to talk about, again, this is the follow up to Monday. This is a self perfected video challenge on the ways that I've changed. And I would say, I'm just gonna rant. There's gonna be no necessarily order to this, but it's all ways that I've changed. First, willing to take more responsibility. It's a huge one. For example, we've been running our meetup consistently every 2 weeks in Minneapolis for since last winter. So not this winter, but a year and a half ago. And that's been huge because I I have had times where I've had every excuse in my mind come up. But guess what? You just take responsibility and you do the thing anyway. Even if you don't feel like it, you just do what you know you need to do. So that's one way I've changed because in the past I would find any excuse to not do something and I would just not do it. But this now I just go do it. So that's actually where Jess and I are on the way to.
Yo, yo, yo.
So that's one, take more responsibility. Two, understanding how things actually work, specifically within building a business and making money. I used to in the past focus on just on money, like oh I just need to get money. If I just focus on money, it's gonna just make me more money or whatever, right? I was in delusion land. In reality, and how I've changed is in my approach to looking at how do you create value and not just some BS like oh I add value to people. I add value. It's like when people, there you go. I'm back. So when people are just like oh add value, it's usually a good indicator that I'd be skeptical of that. What you really want to do if you're serious about making money is you build a system that is duplicatable and replicable. And that's worthy of a video in itself, but it's understanding that when you have a something that is of value, but you can have a systematic approach to it, and you build a business with a structure where you do certain activity every single day, and then you can coach or train other people in doing the same activity every single day. That over time generates money. So it's not the money that you focus on, it's you focus on the activity that gets you there. So that's another huge way I've changed is I actually understand that now and it's verifiable. It's not just like I read a book and I felt good about it. It's I have proof in the real physical universe that we live in. That's another way I've changed. My level of focus has also gone way up. In the past, I was trying to do so many different things all at once. I'm trying to um, just do way too many things. Now, there's still a few different projects that I have, but it's all in the same umbrella, which is how do we create a world that's best for everybody? Meaning, how do we ensure that every single child gets their basic needs met and they don't grow up only in survival mode? The main way to do that is through education, making sure that everyone's effectively educated. To one, understand how the world works. Two, who they are. And then three, how we can communicate as equals and build together as equals. So that's another huge way of changes. I've understood that, and I've backed up that understanding with my focus day to day. Um, how else have I changed? I now have a wonderful fiance, Jessica. I could not I could not be stable within a relationship ever. Like I've had multiple relationships in the past, and it was always based on energy. Like how do I get the most energy, and how do I, you know, be the winner or the loser, the victim or whatever? How do we stay in the honeymoon phase and feel good? And at a certain point, I made this post earlier today. I said, I don't wake up ever and have the feeling with Jessica like I'm not happy. I'm just not happy. Oh, it's just not like it used to be. That's if you're having that type of thought, that's a clear, obvious indicator that your relationship is based just in energy. And guess what? If it's just based in energy, just like a battery, it's going to run out and it's going to be tossed. Rather, look at it like you would look at nature. Like nature doesn't just disappear. It may take on different shape or different form, but look at a tree, for example. It's just growing, consistent, consistent, consistent. That's me and Jess's relationship. And so I'm happy within that. It's amazing because I don't have in the back of my mind, oh, is she going to be unhappy? Am I unhappy? The whole game of like, oh, we just lost feelings for each other. As Jess and I love to say, fuck your feelings. Because your feelings will delude you. And it's not to say you can't feel good or enjoy feelings or have feelings. It's just if you're operating only from your feelings, you're going to delude yourself. Because if one day I don't feel like, I don't know, doing the dishes, but I know it's best to do the dishes, I'm going to do the dishes. I may not feel like having a conversation with Jessica where maybe we had a disagreement and I know we need to talk about it, it's going to be a little bit complex or whatever. I may not feel like it. Guess what? I'm going to do it anyway. And guess what? Here's the fun part is when you do the best thing, you end up feeling good. Or sometimes you don't end up feeling good, but guess what? You have integrity. So you did the right thing. And that, overall, you're going to feel better doing that anyway. But it's not about the feeling. Who cares if you feel amazing if there's still 20,000 kids a day in the world dying from preventable causes? Like, how can you be genuinely happy knowing that everywhere else in the world is hell on earth? Like, that's just called being delusional. And that's how I've changed in the past year, is I've stopped becoming delusional, and I'm still working through stuff. Like you saw in the beginning, I don't know if it cut out or whatever, but I get a robocall. I'm like, just want to make the video, right? But hey, guess what? I'm adaptable. I can be flexible. But here's the one final part. I'm going to share this one. How I've changed is now I actually live by principle, and there's a great phrase here. I don't know who came up with it. Someone in Self Perfected or Destiny or something, but it's be firm within your principles and flexible in your expression. So be firm in your principle in that you do the best thing no matter what, all the time, all the time, all the time. And if you fail at it, guess what? You forgive yourself, you correct it, that whole thing. That's the whole principles, everything. But you be flexible in your expression. So at some point in time, right, someone might be saying some delusional stuff on Facebook, and I will call them out. Other times, I'll call them out publicly, right? I'll be like, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. Consider this. And sometimes they'll do that. Other times I'll see that's the person's not going to be able to hear that, so I'll DM them. Or other times I'll realize like, hey, I need to approach them in a different way, and I'll like set a reminder in my phone so the next time I see them in person, we can talk about it. So it's like that's called being flexible in your expression. It's like you don't have to be so rigid, like no, all the time I always do X, Y, Z. No, be flexible, but don't be flexible in what's really important. Because if you start to compromise in little areas of your life, like, it's I just am gonna accept this belief that it's okay that everyone people just got to be poor, or there's just you can't learn everything. It's like no, you just haven't understood what the solutions are, and the solutions are out here. And I'll keep talking about it, and I'll keep talking about it until everyone has it. So those are some ways I've changed. I could go on and on, but I'm gonna share that for now. And then for those of you who want to be part of a community of people that think about this type of stuff, join us in Self Perfected. It's free. There's nothing you got to be scared of. Just join a hangout, listen to what's being discussed, question it, challenge it. We're not asking you to believe something. We're just going to expose some common sense points and then help you in your understanding of that. And then vice versa, you're going to share your take on things, and we'll factor that in, and then you can add to this community. Because without this community, the world's just going in status quo to destruction. So let's change that. All right. All right, y'all. See you next time.